welcome. This is Brand New Smith live from the Forbidden Library, and today we're reading some Sherlock again. I really can't stop hitting my mic with my headphones. We're gonna work on that. Maybe we're just a little rearranging here. Can I move my head? Yeah, it's a me! Yeah, it is. Hi, Luke. Welcome. Hi, Rahel. Hi, Vodella. Hi, Noah Says Venom. Hi, Boris. Hi, Red Candy Guy. Welcome, 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 any likers. Welcome, any voters. Welcome. Hi, Jake. How's me? I'm a little sleepy today, I'm not gonna lie. I went... Oh, Void did a thing. Dumb powers #1. Drader. Void, how do I use the power swap trick from blah 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 on Selena? Why would they want to do that? Void, the power swap trick is called lip service, and you have to kiss her to use it. Also, she uses it on her. Yeah, I could see that. I don't think Drader would mind a smooch with Selena, I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, I went out. What was that highlighted for? 5 months as a member, Void! Thank you so much. That was a wise use of your 5-monther. This is read some of your other messages before we get on. All of those compliments of before, Luke? No, you. There we go. I say, Holmes, it seems a man was murdered in a rice field by a hitman wielding 2 small wooden objects. Indeed, Watson. This may be the first known case of knick-knack patty... That's terrible. Terrible, Number Size Phantom. What if this just becomes another sponsored book stream and the title's just misleading? I wish that was the case. That would be lovely if that was the case, but it is sadly not. 5 months down and as many brain cells too. Woo! Yay! Wait, no. I wish to enrich... I hope I enrich the brain cells you have, not take them away. Or is that my ploy? Is that how I'm gonna finally get smarter? Is I just steal people's brain cells from chat? God, the woods. Chopsticks. Yeah. I was gonna say I'm sleepy because I went out to a big city for a day out yesterday. And it was really fun and it was great. But I am a small town girl and big cities are terrifying. Whoop! Red Candy Guy in the 5 months as well. Look at you guys. You've been around for so long. You have bronze books now. You're only like 1 or 2 months away from getting the final book. Must have like, I don't know, changed the images up for funsies for things. A social life, but I'm a VTuber. I know! Wild, right? Right. Yeah. Small time girl me went to big city. It was overwhelming. Brain go, ah! And now brain is tired. But we're gonna read some Sherlock anyway, and I want to say... Hello, Corbzilla, welcome. I want to say the reason we're doing some Sherlock this week and not starting a brand new book is because next week, as you can see, by my little books until freedom there, I'm getting very close to my first 100 books. So next week we're going to do a special stream for my first 100 books. Which I technically am already at, but I've been incredibly strict with that 10,000 book playlist that I've been doing. And I haven't been able to upload to it as fast as I can. So after the 100, I'm probably going to swap up how I keep track of this 100 books a little bit. I think at the end of every week we're going to do a bit of a roundup on books I've done. But I'm going to wait until after the first 100 books. Because I have a good plan. It's all set out very well now. So after that, I can start doing more stuff. But yeah, look forward to that. It'll be a very special stream next Sunday. But for now, we have some Sherlock. And we didn't do Sherlock all that long ago. Also, Brownie, I want you to know I've started writing again. It's all your fault. Thank you. That's a compliment. So you're gonna pop a bottle of some good tea at 9,000? Do I? Oh, I could. We could do some flowering tea at 9,900. That's some pretty good tea. It's fancy looking tea. We could watch that bloom in a glass teapot. Unless you mean actual alcohol, and I'm pretty sure there's rules against me drinking on stream. No, I know other streamers do it, but I'd have to be like totally just good tea. It could be done. But I don't think I will. No. We'll be doing something special. Victorian writing, indubitably. So, we did Sherlock not too long ago. And I started a short story called, I think it was something about the Redhead Committee. Let's go back. The Redhead League. Yes. So I will summarize some of what the Redhead League was about. So, a man whose name was, let's see if we can find it, came to good old Sherlock very confused because Mr. Wilson came to Sherlock very confused. He answered an advertisement for the Red-Haired League, a sort of gentleman's club for redheads that are in fact quite rich and play very handsomely. A salary of £4 a week, which is effel now, but probably pretty good back then. So he went for it, he got the job. All the job was to show up, write some, make a copy of some encyclopedias, not leave the building until he's allowed to leave. And then I think after the first week, he came back and it was gone. Poof. We don't know what happened. I bet at 9,900 books, we get something that'll rock. And something... well, we're not ready for. I did see your jokes on Discord, Void. I wasn't ready for them, that's for sure. They are high cringe, well done. I checked for you, and they have Sherlock Holmes in 34 fanfiction. Basically, you can do a membership stream for these special readlogs. Yeah, nah. Sunnyshine, that is definitely not what is gonna happen. No. I think even if it was privated and special streams, I'd probably still get banned for reading smut. We ain't reading no smut here. Put the lemons away. They have no place here. Not that anyone calls it lemons anymore. I think that is about what happened. And I'm kind of curious, so I'm gonna see if we can go in. Yeah. So the Redhead, he went in and there was a note saying the Redhead League is dissolved. And he went to, like, the building leader and things like that, and they was like, oh, no idea what you're on about. What the fuck is the Redhead League? But everything in his shop was fine at the time, because he ran a pawn shop at the time. Not a pawn shop as in Rule 34, just for the record. A pawn shop as in, you know, trading and selling things. Well, I said, the gentleman number 4, yes. Oh, he said his name was William Morris. Yes, he gave the building man a different name to the one that the red-headed man knew him of him. Put those lemons away, you're turning into a lemon, Bernie? No, I'm not. Definitely not. Especially not the kind of lemon I'm talking about. I wonder what briny lemonade tastes like. Gross. Bernie reads Yowie with Sherlock Moriarty. No, we're not super who-locking it over here. Please go. No. This is a downward slope to super who-lock, and we're not going there. We're not going there. I'm so glad that I wasn't in that fandom when I was younger, and I'm so glad I wasn't. Hello, Jabba Hop, welcome. Yeah. Let's figure out what that. Please, we killed Super Hulock for a reason. I keep hearing its name a lot, and I don't know whether that's because, like, another season of Doctor Who has come out recently. Oh, I know why it is. It's because of that, and because, at least where I am, there's been like Liverpool Comic Con and stuff like that, which had a lot of supernatural like actors coming for that Comic Con. Maybe that's why. No, I thought we escaped Super Hulock. We did. We did. I'm just bringing back horrible memories for you. Briny reads, avoids, new luck plus smut. No, no smut on stream. I said put away the lemons. Stop it. No smut. We will never be reading smut on stream. This will be 10 out of 10 wholesome stream. If there was ever smut in a book, it would have been because I specifically asked the author if we can skip it. But yes, no smut. No smut. No. Too dirty. Put it away. Put it away. Scooby Natch. Probably a fanfic somewhere. Make a poll. Do you want Briny to read Sherlock Holmes Yowie's stream? Yes or no? No! No and no, I veto. No poll is necessary because I say no! This is my channel! And I decide what we read! And I say we read this bit about redheads and Sherlock and a potential scam of some kind that I still don't understand, which is why I need to know. I went home to Saxbo Square, and I took the advice of my assistant, but he could not help me in any way. He could only say that if I waited, I should hear by post. But that was not quite good enough. Mr. Holmes, I did not wish to lose such a place without a struggle. So, as I heard that you were good enough to give advice to poor folk who were in need, I came away to you. And you did very wisely, said Holmes. Your case is an exceedingly remarkable one, and I shall be happy to look into it. From what you have told me, I think that it is possible that graver issues hang from it than it might first appear. No, I'm not reading fan fiction from it. I don't care what websites it's in, whether it's fanfic.net, whether it's AO3, whether it's Wattpad, I'm not doing it. Why do we need Sherlock Holmes Yowie when Watson provides enough ejaculations in the OG story? Correct. Normal-sized phantoms on it. We don't need it. It's already there. It's gay enough as it is. It's already Pride Month material. Grave enough, said Mr. Jebs Wilson. Why, I have lost £4 a week. Having a gay old time, alright, yee. As far as you are personally concerned, remarked Holmes, I do not see that you have any grievance against this extraordinary league. On the contrary, you are, I understand, richer by some £30, to say nothing of the minute knowledge you have gained on every subject which comes under the letter A. You have lost nothing by them. No, sir, but I want to find out about them, and who they are, and what their object was in playing this prank. If it was a prank upon me, it was a pretty expensive joke for them, for it cost them £32. We shall endeavour to clear up these points for you. And first, 1 or 2 questions, Mr. Wilson. This assistant of yours, who called your attention to the advertisement, how long has he been with you? Can you read my April Fool's joke story when it comes out? Actually, a serious question. It's gonna be called Every Single Superhero versus 1 Billion Lions. Maybe, but there's a lot of cool things I can do on April Fool's, so I'm not sure that will be the one that wins. I like the idea Lucas had a while ago of reading stuff backwards. About a month, then. How did he come? In answer to an advertisement. He was the only applicant? No, I had a dozen. Why did you pick him? Because he was handy and would come cheap. At half wages, in fact. Yes. What is he like, this Vincent Spaulding? Small but stout build, very quick in his ways. No hair on his face, though he's not short of 30. Had a white splash of acid upon his forehead. I do like giant briny idea. We do have a small briny and you guys bully her a lot. So maybe if I do big briny, you guys will just compliment me a lot. And then like normal briny's just in the middle. You seen Sherlock Holmes 20th Century or Mouse Detective? Has Sherlock Holmes done the murdering yet? No, no murder. No murder has happened. No murder. Just a very, very confused redhead man. Holmes sat up in his chair in considerable excitement. I thought as such, said he. Have you ever observed that his ears are pierced for earrings? Yes, sir. He told me that a gypsy done it for him when he was a lad. Said Holmes, sinking back in deep thought. He is still with you? Oh, yes, sir. I only just left him. And has your business been attended to in your absence? Nothing to complain of, sir. There's never very much to do in the morning. Which Sherlock novel is this? This is a short story from the Adventures of Sherlock Holmes book. This one is called The Redhead League. You're just here for the music? I apologize, there's no music. We only have fire crackling in the background. I hope that's okay. That will do, Mr. Wilson. I shall be happy to give you an opinion upon the subject in the course of a day or two. Today is Saturday, and I hope that by Monday we may come to a conclusion. Well, Watson, said Holmes when our visitor had left us, what do you make of it all? I make nothing of it, I answered frankly. It is a most mysterious business. As a rule, said Holmes, the more bizarre a thing is, the less mysterious it proves to be. Once again. There we go. E. Sherlock gets frozen in time and solves cases in the 22nd century, and Watson is a robot and a girl cop. It's a cartoon I recommend you try. Sounds interesting, that's for sure. Sherlock Holmes were real. Sherlock Briny, I figured out you're blonde. Briny, no shit, Sherlock. Presses laugh track. Ha 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 ha. It is your commonplace, featureless crimes that are really puzzling. Not as a commonplace face is the most difficult to identify, but I must be prompt over this matter. What are you going to do, then? I asked. To smoke, he answered. It is quite a three-pipe problem, and I beg that you won't speak to me for 50 minutes. He curled himself up in his chair with his knees drawn up to his hawk-like nose. And there he sat with his eyes closed, and his black clay pipe thrusting out like a bill of some strange bird. I had come to the conclusion that he had dropped asleep, and indeed was nodding myself, when he suddenly sprang out of his chair with the gesture of a man who has made up his mind and put his pipe down upon the mantelpiece. Seracitate plays at Mr. Jameson's hall this afternoon, he remarked. What do you think, Watson? Could your patients spare you for a few hours? I have nothing to do today. My practice is never very absorbing. Then put on your hat and come with me. I am going through the city first, and we can have some lunch on the way. I observed that there is a good deal of German music on the programme, which is rather more to my taste than Italian or French. It is introspective, and I want to introspect. Come along. We travelled by the underground as far as Aldersgate. A short walk took us to Saxe-Coburg Square, the scene of the singular story which we had listened to in the morning. It was a poky little shabby genteel place, where 4 lines of dingy 2-storied brick houses looked out into a small railed-in enclosure, where a lawn of weedy grass and a few clumps of faded laurel bushes made a hard fight against a smoke-laden and uncongenial atmosphere. 3 gilt balls and a brown board with Jabes Wilson in white letters upon the corner house announced the place where our red-headed client carried on his business. Sherlock Holmes stopped in front of it, with his head on one side, and looked it all over, with his eyes shining brightly between puckered lips. He then walked slowly up the street and then down again to the corner, still looking keenly at the houses. Finally, he returned to the pawnbroker's, and having thumped vigorously upon the pavement with his stick 2 or 3 times, he went up to the door and knocked. It was instantly opened by a bright-looking, clean-shaven young fellow who asked him to step in. Oh yeah, Bryony, did you decide whether you were gonna try out 39 Clues later? That was the one you meant? Did you actually say what that was in the end? I don't remember you putting it in book recommendation. 39 Clues book's pretty nostalgic to me. Well, 39 Clues is one of those books I didn't read. I was only interested in the trade on cards. Yeah, I can't really look into a book with trading cards, so probably not. I know nothing else about it other than you said it had weird little trading cards. Thank you, said Holmes. I only wish to ask you how you would go from here to the Strand. 3rd right, 4th left, answered the assistant, promptly closing the door. Smart fellow, that, observed Holmes as we walked away. He is, in my judgment, the 4th smartest man in London. And, for daring, I am not sure if he has not a claim to be 3rd. I have known something of him before. Evidently, said I. Mr. Wilson's assistant counts for a good deal in this mystery of the Red-Headed League. I am sure that you inquired your way merely in order that you might see him. Not him. Then what? The knees of his trousers. And what did you see? What I expected to see. And why did you beat the pavement? My dear doctor, this is a time for observation, not for talk. We are spies in an enemy's country. We know something of the Saxe-Coburg Square. Let us now explore the parts which lie behind it. So if this book has a scammer in it, if you hand me a Game Boy, I'll give you every shiny in the game. And then come to school the next day with your 5-step wipe clean. That kind of scammer? I don't know what kind of scammer we've got at the moment, Void. I honestly don't know. Hold on, I just saw the title. And does anyone notice how sus she titled it? More Mr. Holmes, more. Well, that's just your head, Sonny, because I didn't think about that when I did it. That's on you. That's your dirty brain, not mine. Oh, hey, I just noticed Brady is wearing a Sherlock outfit because I'm slowly going blind. Yes, it has a beautiful mustache, don't you think? Yeah. Oh no, I just noticed that, but it's actually not the worst accidental sus I've seen. Yeah, it's probably not the worst one I've done personally. but, yeah, I didn't realize how sus it was, but hey-ho. Welcome back, Luke! You didn't miss anything, just people. No one's died! No one's died! They just went to go see the assistant guy, and Sherlock called him the fourth smartest man in London. And that's coming from Sherlock, so very impressive. The road in which we found ourselves as we turned round the corner from the retired Saxe-Coburg Square presented as a great contrast to it as the front of a picture does the back. It was one of the main arteries which conveyed the traffic of the city to the north and west. The roadway was blocked with the immense stream of commerce flowing in, a double tide inward and outward, while the footsteps were black with the hurrying swarm of pedestrians. It was difficult to realize, as we looked at the line of fine shops and stately businesses, that they really abutted on the other side, upon the faded and stagnant square which we had just quitted. No one died. My sanity died years ago. Sanity's overrated, it's fine, you didn't need it in the first place. The accidental sus in AR Tornado Code 2 with Freelia is the most disturbing one for me. Fair. No idea what that means, but fair. Let me see, said Holmes, standing at the corner and glancing along the line. I should like just to remember the order of the houses here. It is a hobby of mine to have an exact knowledge of London. There is Mortimer's, the tobacconist, the little newspaper shop, the Coburg branch of the City and Suburban Bank, the vegetarian restaurant, and McFarlane's carriage building depot. That carries us right to the door, right to the other block. And now, Doctor, we've done our work. So it's time that we had some play, a sandwich and a cup of coffee, and then off to a violin land, where all is sweetness and delicacy and harmony, and there are no red-headed clients to vex us with their conundrums. Don't worry about it, it died years ago. You're used to being without it now. Yeah, no, Knox's 7th violations in this story. I went and looked up the Umineko version of Knox's dialogue. Fair enough. Sandwich, yes, sandwich. Hi, maiden! Welcome! My friend was an enthusiastic musician, being himself not only a very capable performer, but a composer of no ordinary merit. All the afternoon he sat in the stalls, wrapped in the most perfect happiness, gently waving his long, thin fingers in time to the music, while his gently smiling face and his languid, dreamy eyes were as unlike those of Holmes the sleuth. Holmes, the relentless, keen-witted, ready-handed criminal agent, as it was possible to conceive. In his singular character, the dual nature alternatively asserted itself, and his extreme exactness and astuteness represented, as I have often thought, the reaction against the poetic and contemplative mood which occasionally predominated him. The swing of his nature took him from extreme languor to devouring energy, and, as I knew well, he was never truly formidable, as when, for days on end, he had been lounging in his armchair amid his improvisations and his black-letter editions. Then it was that the lust of the chase would suddenly come upon him, and that his brilliant reasoning would rise to a level of intuition, until those who were unacquainted with his methods would look askance at him, as on a man whose knowledge was not of other mortals. When I saw him that afternoon, so enwrapped in the music at St. James's Hall, I felt that an evil time might be coming upon those whom he had set himself a hunt. That was fun. That was a fun thing to read. Hello, Vocalizer. Welcome. I'm gonna go work on my Vocalizer channel now. Fair. Have fun. Imagine if Sherlock was hard to read. There are some words that are hard to read. I mean, because there's some words that haven't... I mean, that's the word I tripped off on. That doesn't come up in normal documentation anymore. That was a fun thing to hear read aloud. It was a fun thing to read, honestly. Escons. Escoots. But yeah, that was the only word that tripped me up. I did pretty well for the rest of it. The fuck does it mean? We can assume it means to look in a way, to look surprised, to look impressed, something like that. Just the way it says, if I was to replace it for a thing. Until those who were unacquainted with his methods would look impressed at him as a man whose knowledge was not of other mortals. Yeah, I don't really speak 800s English either, but it's all about getting that context from the rest of the sentence, and then we can figure it out. Yeah, context. Wow. Typical Victorians making up words. No, I believe that was the Elizabethans, and specifically bloody Shakespeare. He made up so many words. Like, 1,005, at least over 1,000 of our words were just made the fuck up by Sherlock. Not Sherlock. Oh god, that was the wrong one. Shakespeare! Shakespeare made up so many fucking words. I want to do a whole stream just based on the shit Shakespeare made up. Shakespeare Holmes. You keep getting Final Fantasy XIV ads, Luke? Well, honestly, those are the best ads you could ask for, really, because it's a great game. Have you heard about their free trial? Blah, 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 blah. Insert copy pasta here. Meme. Yes, that's another one of the sort of English language streams I'm thinking about doing, is yelling at Shakespeare for things, even though he's already dead. Wouldn't mind getting Shout Factory ads if they were advertising a new Shaw Bros box set. You want to go home, no doubt, Doctor, he remarked as we emerged. Yes, it would be well. And I have some business to do, which will take some hours. This business at Corbett Square is serious. Why serious? A considerable crime is in contemplation. I have every reason to believe that we shall be in time to stop it, but today, being Saturday, rather complicates matters. I shall want your help tonight. At what time? 10 will be early enough. I shall be at Baker Street at 10 then. Very well. And, I say, Doctor, there may be some little danger, so kindly put your army revolver in your pocket. He waved his hand and turned on his heel, and disappeared in a midst among the crowd. Plot twist. We're only sponsored by Final Fantasy. I fucking wish again. Happily. Square Enix. You heard them. Get me sponsored. At least Brony isn't acting like an English teacher. She isn't teaching us 1,000 different metaphors for fart. We could do a whole stream about figuring out 1,000 metaphors for farting. I only never learned 998 metaphors for fart. See, now that would be a wonderful April Fool's stream. Again, metaphors for fart. The April Fool's stream. Learning English language's most beautiful metaphors, and it's just learning the metaphors for fart. Be fucking great. Honestly, the best stream you'll have ever watched. What does the red door symbolize? Oh god. You say that that's stupid. It's actually vaguely important that you know that shit, you know. It's vaguely important that you know that shit. Because as much as in whatever poem it was, the red door symbolization might have been stupid, it comes into play in like real life things. For example, when you are watching the news and the newscasters all happen to be wearing the same color as certain political parties. That is also something, a representation that someone has thought of in wardrobe or someone might have paid for to make you think of things. Media literacy is important! So yeah, sorry about that. You triggered me then. You said the red door and I got triggered. Anyway. Yes. I remember being in high school and thinking the overanalyzation of poetry was stupid, but it teaches you media literacy. It teaches you to read things that aren't just surface level, and that's very important. Very, very important. I've never forget my 10th grade teacher telling us, sometimes a bowl of grapes is just a bowl of grapes. Not everything is a metaphor. That is also true, Boris. That is also true. You said something about copy pasta, and my brain just said Vaporeon, Bernie, and I said, why did you think that? I don't know. Your brain goes to wild places sometimes, Void. It just do. This is the best stream I've ever attended. Thanks. I'm glad you found my rant informative. I hope. I trust that I am not more dense than my neighbours, but I was always oppressed with a sense of my own stupidity in my dealings with Sherlock Holmes. Here I had heard that he had heard. I had seen what he had seen, and yet, from his words, it was evident that he saw clearly not only what had happened, but what was about to happen. While to me, the whole business was still confused and grotesque. As I drove home to my house in Kensington, I thought over it all. From the extraordinary story of the redhead copier of the encyclopedia down to the visit to Saxe Coburg Square, and the ominous words with which he had parted from me. What was the nocturnal expedition, and why should I go armed? Where were we going, and what were we doing? I had the hint from Holmes that this smooth-faced pawnbroker's assistant was a formidable man, a man who might play a deep game. I tried to puzzle it out, but gave it up in despair and set the matter aside until night should bring an explanation. It teaches you to read between the lines. Yes, very important. Sometimes Boris's teacher is right and a bowl of grapes is just a bowl of grapes. But sometimes that product placement, that influencer who's just being a little bit too nice or incredibly vague on something, then they have the promoting things they don't know about. You just it teaches you to pick those kind of things up. And it's very important. I think especially in this day and age where we're bombarded with so much information, being able to read between the lines on all the information you're bombarded with every single day, really, really, really important. Listen, real men go for Jolteon, and I stand by that. I have cosplayed a Jolteon before. Me and my friends, we did a little evolution cosplay together. One of us went as Vaporeon, one was Flareon, and I was the Jolteon, which was great and terrible because I didn't get a tail because Jolteon doesn't have a tail. But instead, I decided to make my own mecha arm, and it was pretty cool. I was pretty proud of myself. It was great. Now that's shocking! Yes, it was. 10 out of 10 pun. The ears were surprisingly easy to make as well. I got like a set of bunny ears that you'd have at Easter, and then I ripped off the bunny ears and then I made Jolteon ears to go on top. I was really proud of myself. I'm not much of a cosplay maker, but I was really happy with how all that turned out. You know, when Briny tries to scam you, you need to be able to read Briny like a book. Yes, of course. When I'm trying to sell you shit, you should know if I'm trying to sell you shit that's worth it or not. It was 9:15 when I started from home and made my way across the park, and so through Oxford Street to Baker Street. Two hansoms were standing at the door, and I entered the passage. I heard the sounds of voices above. On entering the room, I found Holmes in animated conversation with two men, one of whom I recognized as Peter Jones, the official police agent, while the other was long, thin, sad-faced, with a very shiny hat and oppressively respectable frock coat. Hello, Kay! I wish you a good mood and the best stream. I send you greetings from R. That's lovely, Kay. Thank you. Are you gonna lurk? Well, I hope you have a wonderful chill lurk. And no, you're cool. You're cool. You have a fun stream that you're watching, which would be a fun stream for me because that makes it a fun stream for you, because that's how streaming works. And I'm glad you stopped by too, Luke. Thank you. Ha! Our party is complete, said Holmes, buttoning up a pea jacket and taking his heavy hunting crop from the rack. Watson, I think you know Mr. Jones of Scotland Yard. Yes, let me introduce you to Mr. Merryweather, who is to be our companion in tonight's adventure. Oh, Merryweather's here. Surprise. I once went to Comic-Con and was dressed like Kumigawa Misongi, a school student with a giant bolt screw. The cosplay outfit was too tight on me, and it was awkward carrying around a giant cardboard screw. Yeah, you've got to, unless you are very dedicated to cosplay, you have to, like, figure out what you can do that's going to be comfortable. Holmes is going on a D&D campaign. Yes. We're hunting in couples again, Doctor, you see, said Jones in his consequential way. Sorry, let me do a better voice. We're hunting in couples again, Doctor, you see, said Jones in his consequential way. Our friend here is a wonderful man from a starting chase. All he wants is an old dog to help him do the running down. And let's try to do Mary's voice, because it is Merryweather. I hope a wild goose chase does not prove to be the end of our chase, observed Mr. Merryweather gloomily. You may place considerable confidence in Mr. Holmes, sir, said the police agent loftily. He has his own little methods, which are, if you won't mind me saying so, just a little too theoretical and fantastic, but it has the makings of a detective in him. It is not too much to say that once or twice, as in that business of Sholto murder and the Agra treasure, he has been more nearly correct than the official force. Oh, if you say so, Mr. Jones, it is all right, said the stranger with deference. Still, I confess that I miss my rubber. It was the first Saturday night for 27 years that I've not had my rubber. I don't know what he's referring to with his rubber. You need to practice with your ventriloquism and not be limited to 3 voices. One of them needs to be scarce. We can't have scarcer. We're not having a scarcer, mate. Can't do that. No, we can't. Why is this serious? You can't have a scouser. Nah. I do my best with voices void, but that's something I knew going into VTubing that I was going to be a weak part of my repertoire. But you know, that's why. Maybe not succeed, but that's why. I think you will find, said Sherlock, that you will play for a higher stake tonight than you have ever done yet, and that the play will be more exciting for you, Mr. Merriweather, than the stake. The stake will become some £30,000, and for you, Jones, it'll be the man upon whom you wish to lay your hands. John Clay, the murderer, thief, smasher, and forger. He's a young man, Mr. Merriweather, but he is at the head of his profession, and I would rather have my bracelets on him than on any criminal in London. He's a remarkable man, is young John Clay. His grandfather was a royal duke, and he himself has been to Eton and Oxford. His brain is as cunning as his fingers, and though we meet signs of him at every turn, we never know where to find the man himself. He'll crack a crib in Scotland one week and be raising money to build an orphanage in Cornwall the next. I've been on his track for years, and I've never yet set eyes on him. Preferably some guy voices, Valley Girl, Country American, and snarky voices. You got plenty of country Americans, but why would I? And we're not going to be putting any Americans in a British, in Sherlock Holmes. That would be very strange, unless it very much states that they are American. We don't refer to people as Smasher anymore, which is a shame. Yeah, smash. We need to have more people arrested for smashing. Where's the Hulk? Arrested on crimes of smashing. I hope that I may have the pleasure of introducing you tonight. I've been one or two little turns also with Mr. John Clay, and I agree with you that he is the head of his profession. In the past 10 years, however, a quite time that we started. If the two of you will take the first hansom, Watson and I will follow the second. Stealing potatoes, mash 'em up. Call 'em the Smasher. Oh no. He's not making mashed potatoes without a permit. Smashing. Sherlock Holmes was not very communicative during the long drive, and lay back in the cab, humming the tunes which he had heard in the afternoon. We rattled through an endless labyrinth of gaslit streets until we emerged into Farrington Street. We are close there now, my friend remarked. This fellow Merriweather is a bank director, and personally interested in the matter. I thought it as well to have Jones with us also. He is not a bad fellow, though an absolute imbecile in his profession. He has one positive virtue. He is as brave as a bulldog, and as tenacious as a lobster, if he gets his claws upon anyone. Here we are, and they are waiting for us. Hey, we need more people arrested for smashing. Okay, Brownie, I don't think you're gonna like that. Not like that! No! Why am I stumbling into all the accidental lewds today? This is how you tell I'm sleepy. I'm accidentally making everything you buy. Oh, lordy. Oi, did you pay for this potato license? I'll have you in the Tower of London. Oh, no potato license? Out with ya! Out with ya! I don't think it's you, Brian. Yeah, I think it's Tat. Everyone else is just taking this the wrong way. We're talking about mashed potatoes. I don't know why you think smashing is lewd, when we're obviously talking about mashed potatoes. There's nothing lewd about mashed potatoes. Anyway. Where the potatoes, sweetie, you've been nicked. Is it your fault or is our magic? It's not my. I have no lewd thoughts right now, and you talk smashing the wrong way. They've been smashing, they have, but not in that sense. They've been smashing potatoes. Potatoes is what we're talking about, not what you're talking about. The birds and the bees, the lemons can get out of here. Well, desperate times call for desperate measures. favorite VTuber is a mashed potato girl. Who? Mashed potatoes are great. Mashed potatoes are great. You put a Here's a tip for some mashed potatoes. Stick a bit of spring onion in there. Like, chop up some spring onions and put it in your mashed potato. It's wonderful. Do it. It's great. And lots of milk in your mashed potatoes as well. That's also a good tip for your mashed taters. Anyway. We are close there now. Oh yeah, he's waiting for us. We had reached the same crowded thoroughfare in which we had found ourselves in the morning. Our cabs were dismissed, and following the guidance of Mr. Merriweather, we passed down a narrow passage and through a side door, which he opened for us. Within there was a small corridor to which ended a very massive iron gate. This also was opened, and led down a flight of winding stone steps, which terminated at another formidable gate. Mr. Merriweather stopped to light a lantern, and then conducted us down a dark, earth-smelling passage. And so, after opening a third door into a huge vault or cellar, which was piled all round with crates and massive boxes. "You are not very vulnerable from above," Holmes remarked, as he held up the lantern and gazed about him. "Nor from below," said Merriweather, striking his stick upon the flags that lined the floor. "Why, dear me, it sounds quite hollow," he remarked, looking up in surprise. "I must really ask that you be a little more quiet," said Holmes severely. "You have already imperiled the whole success of our expedition. Might I beg that you would have the goodness to sit down upon one of those boxes and not interfere?" Cooking stream when? We had the tea stream, and that's the best one we got so far. You just put ranch in your mashed potatoes? Why would you ruin the mashed potatoes like that? Nope. Nope. Imagine if you took suggestions. Ugh. See, chat, despite not doing a 34 stream, she's purposely saying it throughout this stream. Honestly, I want to hear her make the sound effect. No, we're not making smashing sound effects. For one, I don't have any, but the only potato I had in the house I had for lunch, so I couldn't if I wanted to. It was a sweet potato. I put it in the microwave, and it was tasty. It makes mashed potatoes creamy. I know, but it would also make them taste like ranch, and I don't like ranch, so no ranch in the mashed potatoes. You can put some cheese in there if you really want, but no cheese, spring onions. That's the way to go. Also, not that instant crap. Don't use fucking instant mashed potatoes. It's crap. Don't do it. Get some actual potatoes. Peel your actual potatoes. Chop them up. Put them in boiling water for a little while. Bring them out. Mash them up. Put some milk in it. Put some butter in it. Put some spring onions in it. Done. Can you do a punching sound effect so I can pretend you're punching me? At most I can hit my desk, so that's the best you're getting. This is making me hungry. As mashed potatoes should. The solemn Mr. Merriweather perched himself upon a crate, and with a very timid, very injured expression upon his face, while Holmes fell upon his knees upon the floor, and with the lantern and a magnifying lens, began to examine minutely the cracks between the stones. A few seconds sufficed to satisfy him, for he sprang to his feet again and put his glass in his pocket. "We have at least an hour before us," he remarked, "for they can hardly take any steps until the good pawnbroker is safely in bed. Then they will not lose a minute, for the sooner they do their work, the longer time they will have for their escape. We are at present, Doctor, as no doubt you have divined, in the cellar of the city branch of one of the principal London banks. Mr. Merriweather is the chairman of directors, and he will explain to you that there are reasons why the more daring criminals of London should take a considerable interest in this cellar at present. Can I use instant briny for instant streams? No. Instant briny will taste shit and not be as funny as me. And it'd be great. No, it won't be great. Opposite. They'll probably won't make as many stupid mistakes as I will. And really, where does my entertainment come from other than stupid mistakes? Briny punishment is instant and ranch eating. Bleh! That literally sounds like the worst sunny shine. That would not bring sunny shine to my day. That would bring misery. Much, much misery. It is our French gold, whispered the director. We have had several warnings that an attempt might be made upon it. Your French gold? Yes. We had an occasion some months ago to strengthen our resources and borrowed for that purpose 30,000 Napoleons from the Bank of France. It has become known that we have never had occasion to unpack the money, and it is still lying in our cellar. The crate upon which I sit contains 2,000 Napoleons, packed between layers of lead foil. Our reserve of bullion is much larger at present than is usually kept in a single branch office, and the directors have had misgivings upon the subject. Hey Bryony, eating ranch mashed potatoes as a punishment stream for losing another daily routine challenge? That's if I do another daily routine challenge. They became quite hard to do at points because of work and stuff. But no, I'm not putting myself through that. No, fuck you all. I ain't doing it. The punishment trigger is Bryony makes a mistake, misspells while she reads. No, definitely not, because that happens so many times that I would end up puking because I would eat too much of it. To be fair, I could probably end up puking from one bite of it, really. That's how bad it would be. I do not have a strong tum-tum when it comes to things I don't like. Which were very justified, observed Holmes, and now it is time we arranged our little plans. I expect that within the hour... In the meantime, Mr. Merriweather, we must put the screen over that darkened lantern. And sit in the dark? I'm afraid so. I had brought a pack of cards in my pocket, and thought that, as we were party carré, you might have your rubber after all, but I see that the enemy's preparations have gone so far that we cannot risk the presence of light, and thus, first of all, we must choose our positions. These are daring men, and though we shall take them at disadvantage, they may do us some harm unless we are careful. I shall stand behind this crate, and do you conceal yourselves behind those. Then, when I flash a light upon them, close in swiftly. If they fire, Watson, have no compunction about shooting them down. Try not to puke. One puke, you add another serving. Oh god, no. I'm not in for being tortured on my streams, thanks. Alright, but Bryony reads you a book, and every time she makes a reading mistake, she gets shocked by a joy buzz. No! 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 Mistakes are okay. We're allowed to make mistakes. Mistakes are not punishable. I placed my revolver cocked upon the top of the wooden case behind which I crouched. Holmes shot the slide across the front of his lantern and left us in pitch darkness. Such absolute darkness as I have never experienced before. The smell of hot metal remained to assure us the light was still there, ready to flash out at a moment's notice. To me, with my nerves worked up to a pitch of expectancy, there was something depressing and subduing in the sudden gloom and in the cold, dank air of the vault. They have but one retreat, whispered Holmes. that is back through the house of Saxe-Cobb Square. I hope that you have done what I asked of you, Jones. I have an inspector and 2 officers waiting at the front door. Then we have stopped all the holes. And now we must be silent and wait. First we tortured Chibi Bryony and now this. I know! Like, I reconsidered my VTubing career. Don't worry, lasagna potato with ranch. I don't even know what that would look like. Can we do the joy buzzer thing on a difficult game? Like something like, no! I don't want to do a joy buzzer thing in general! It sounds awful! No! God, no! What a time it seemed. From comparing notes afterwards, it was but an hour and a quarter, yet it appeared to me that the night must have gone and dawn be breaking above us. My limbs were weary and stiff, for I feared to change my position. Yet my nerves worked up to the highest pitch of tension, and my hearing was so acute that I could not only hear the gentle breathing of my companions, but I could distinguish the deeper, heavier in-breath of the bulky Jones from the thin, sighing note of the bank director. From my position, I could look over the case in the direction of the floor. Suddenly my eyes caught a glint of light. At first, it was but a lurid spark upon the stone pavement. Then it lengthened out until it became a yellow line. And then, without any warning or sound, a gash seemed to open, and a hand appeared. A white, almost womanly hand, which felt about in the center of the area of light. For a minute or more the hand, with its writhing fingers, prodded out of the floor. Then it was withdrawn as suddenly as it appeared, and all was dark again, save a single lurid spark, which marked a chink between the stones. Its disappearance, however, was but momentary. With a rending, tearing sound, one of the broad white stones turned over upon its side and left a square gaping hole, through which streamed the light of a lantern. Over the edge there peeped a clean-cut boyish face, which looked keenly about it, and then, with a hand on either side of the aperture, drew itself shoulder-high and waist-high until one knee rested upon the edge. In another instant, he stood at the side of the hole and was hauling himself and a companion, lithe and small like himself with a pale face and a shock of red hair. What about water balloons if you lose a level? I can think of that one's not as bad. I would live that one down a lot better than the joy buzzer. That'd be awful. It's lasagna. Instead of pasta, you use potato and replace Alfredo sauce with ranch sauce. Yep, that sounds pretty cursed there, Sunnyshine. You are 10 out of 10 at bringing cursed shit to my stream. Hey Bryony, will you ever play Jump King so chat can mail in front of you? No, I don't know what that means. Jump King isn't a stream I've thought about before, if only because it looks really hard. I don't really like frustrating games like that. It's a real thing, look it up. Oh my god, I'm gonna do that right now. Potato. I need to see how cursed this is with my own very 2 eyeballs. So what did you call it? Lasagna with... That was the title. I meant to say make. You guys make fun of me anyway. You don't need me to, like... Mashed potato lasagna. That actually looks pretty good. Cool Ranch taco lasagna. I'm not fussed on the Cool Ranch lasagna, but the potato lasagna actually looks pretty good. Low key. That looks pretty good. Void said make, not male. Yeah, you guys don't need Jump King to make fun of me. You already do it anyway. I don't need to invite it. It's like I said before with the subliminal. I don't need to give you opportunities to make fun of me. You guys are too powerful. Oh, you'll do it anyway. I hear loud screaming coming from the direction of Italy right now. Yeah, that's fair. So you won't play any rage games, so no rage content. Got it. It depends on the game. It just... I don't tend to enjoy frustrating games so much. And it's very unlikely I'd be able to hold a 2-hour stream of it. So, I don't know. They have Jump King 3D with co-op. Can you push each other off? Is it possible to grief each other? It all depends. Getting over it? Yeah, fuck that. I wouldn't get over it. Maybe, again, these could be, like, milestone ones, or... Maybe I could do a stream where I rotate between a few when I get too frustrated for them, but I'm not very good at them. I'm more of a... Yes, you can. Wonderful. As it should be. I don't know. I don't have the patience for that kind of stuff all of it. I like throwing myself against brick walls, but I prefer it to be like a boss or something rather than the whole ass game. They have collision physics, and you can climb on each other. Oh, that's cool. Maybe you can get special thumbnails drawn for them. Maybe? I don't tend to do that unless it's a big series, though. Tea Kettle's stream. You switch between games at the start to Steam and Scream. Yeah, like I could do like a frustrating game stream where we do like Jump King, Get Over It, I don't know, Super Meat Boy. And we just see how far I last on them before I get too frustrated and have to flip to another game. Or before you guys get frustrated at me, or something like that. You can put ideas in the suggestion box on the Discord. Yeah! You get O'Brien, yeah. It's all clear, he whispered. Have you the chisel and bags? Great Scott! Jump! Archie, jump! I'll swing for it! Sherlock Holmes had sprung out and seized the intruder by the collar. The other dived down the hole, and I heard the sound of rendering cloth as Jones clutched at his skirts. The light flashed upon the barrel of a revolver, but Holmes's hunting crop came down on the man's wrist, and the pistol clinked upon the floor. It's no use, John Clay, Holmes said blandly. You have no chance at all. So I see, the other answered, with the utmost coolness. Fancy that. Me pal is all right, though I see you've gotten on his coattails. There are 3 men waiting for him at the door, said Holmes. Oh, indeed. You seem to have done the thing very completely. I must compliment you. And are you, Holmes answered. Your red-headed idea was very new and effective. You'll see your pal again presently, said Jones. He's quicker at climbing down holes than I am. Just hold while I fix the debris. I beg that you will not touch me with your filthy hands, remarked our prisoner, as the handcuffs clattered upon his wrists. You may not be aware that I have royal blood in my veins. Have the goodness also, when you address me, you will always say sir and please. All right, said Jones with a stare and a snigger. Well, would you please, sir, march upstairs where we can get a cab and carry your highness to the police station? That is better, said John Clay serenely. He made a sweeping bow to the 3 of us and walked quietly off in the custody of the detective. Holmes discombobulated. It's super effective. Void thumbnail, briny in an apron, stressed out with a ranch lasagna while in the game. Holmes clutched at his skirt. I bet there's a Holmes. Who clutched at their skirt? I'm pretty sure it was Jones clutched at his skirt. So, John Jones would have been, I believe it was Scotland Yard, so yeah, he's wearing a kilt, most likely. And funny how we sidetracks off the theme of the stream. I don't know about that one, Sonny. Apron, because it's used for food. I don't mind a little bit of a sidetrack off the stream, it's fine. If we're all having fun, then it's all good. Yeah, so you did hear it right. It just wasn't Holmes's skirts, it was Jones's skirts, not Holmes. Jones. It was the police officer. Really, Mr. Holmes, said Mr. Merriweather as we followed them from the cellar, I do not know how the bank can thank you or repay you. There is no doubt that you have detected and defeated, in the most complete manner, one of the most determined attempts at bank robbery that have ever come within my experience. I have had 1 or 2 little scores of my own to settle with Mr. John Clay, said Holmes. I have been at some small expense over this matter, which I shall expect the bank to refund. But beyond that, I am amply repaid by having an experience which is in many ways unique, and by hearing the very remarkable narrative of the Red-Headed League. Still don't know how all this puts together, but imagine it's dressing room, apron, or armor. Armor, always armor. You see, Watson, he explained in the early hours of the morning as we sat over a glass of whiskey and a soda in Baker Street, it was perfectly obvious from the first that the only possible objective of this rather fantastic business of advertisement of the League and the copying of the encyclopedia must be to get this not over-bright paperwork out of the way for a number of hours every day. Overbright pawn worker, not paperwork. Oh, Jesus. Pawn broker. It was a curious way of managing it, but really it would be difficult to suggest a better. The method was no doubt suggested to Clay's ingenious mind by the colour of the accomplice's hair. The £4 a week was a lure which must draw him. And what was it to them? Who were playing for thousands. They put in the advertisement. One rogue has the temporary office. The other rogue incites the man to apply for it. And together they manage to secure his absence every morning in the week. From the time that I heard of the assistant having come for half wages, it was obvious to me that he had some strong motive for securing the situation. But how could you guess what that motive was? Had there been women in the house, I should have suspected a mere vulgar intrigue. That, however, was out of the question. The man's business was a small one, and there was nothing in his house which could account for such elaborate preparations, and such an expenditure as they were at. It must, then, be something out of the house. What could it be? I thought of the assistant's fondness for photography, and his trick of vanishing into the cellar. The cellar! There was the end of the tangled cube. Then I made inquiries as to this mysterious assistant, and found that I had to deal with one of the coolest and most daring criminals in London. He was doing something in the cellar, something which took many hours, a day, for months on end. What could it be? Once more, I could think of nothing, save that he was running a tunnel to some other building. So far, I had gotten when we went to visit the scene of action. I surprised you by beating upon the pavement with my stick. I was asserting whether the cellar stretched out in front or behind. It was not in front. Then I rang the bell, and I hoped the assistant answered it. We have had some skirmishes, but we had never set eyes upon each other before. I hardly looked at his face. His knees were what I wished to see. You yourself must have remarked how worn and wrinkled and stained they were. They spoke of hours of burrowing. The only remaining point was what they were burrowing for. I walked around the corner and saw the city of Suburban Bank abutted on our friend's premises, and felt that I had solved my problem. When you drove home after the concert, I called upon Scotland Yard and upon the chairman of the bank directors, with the result that you have seen. And how could you tell that they would make their attempt tonight? I asked. Well, they closed their league's office. That was a sign that they no longer cared about Mr. Jabez Wilson's presence. In other words, that they had completed their tunnel. But it was essential that they should use it soon, as it may be discovered, or the bullion might be removed. Saturday would suit them better than any other day, as it would give them 2 days for their escape. For all these reasons, I expected them to come tonight. You reasoned it out beautifully, I exclaimed in unfeigned admiration. But it is so long a chain, and yet every link rings true. Ha! It saved me from ennui, he answered, yawning. Alas, I already feel it closing upon me. My life is spent in one long effort to escape from the commonplaces of existence. These little problems help me do so. And you were the benefactor of the race, said I. He shrugged his shoulders. Well, perhaps. After all, it is of some little use, he remarked, in some French. I probably said that extremely wrong, as Gustave Flaubert wrote to George Sand. Yay! We did that one! That's another one I can tick off, but I'm not going to tick it off yet. We're going to wait until after the 100, then I'm going to tick off a bunch. What have you guys been saying? That could be a trick option, Briny. He could mean JRPG armor. That's true. But the apron doesn't guarantee anything just as good either. I literally now noticed something. It could probably just be my screen. But the title Twitch is last Friday's title on my computer screen. I didn't see that. I think it could be your screen. Well, I may be caught, but at least Sherlock Holmes thinks I'm cool. Pretty much. You gotta go, Sunday Shine. Well, thank you for coming. I really appreciate it. Even if you're an absolute chaos gremlin, we appreciate it. Nice one. Yay! That's another one off the list. We only have like 20 minutes, half an hour. That is not long. Not long. That was one we did last time as well. We finished that one. That one would have been good if I actually read the whole thing last time, because that one probably would have taken me about 2 hours. So I don't know if we can get another Sherlock in this week. Maybe we can read something super short. Something half an hour. I'm gonna go do some digging on the interwebs. 3 short stories for 30 minutes. 30-minute short stories. I'm not... SCP docs are... Well, we could do one. Actually, yeah, we can do one SCP. Normally, SCPs are pretty much a membership and Patreon exclusive. Because people want them and I would like you to pay for things. But if anyone has a short SCP that they want me to read, you can yell it out now. And we will look into it. SCP 3180. The nerfing gun. Yeah, 80. 08. I did type it wrong. I just said it. I did type it right. I just said it wrong. Because I'm a smart cookie like that. It's not loading up. Give me a minute. SCP. Main. Why is SCP not loading? The SCP wiki down? Yeah, I can't actually get SCP site to load. Yeah, it's just, I'll show you. Let me show you. Is it this one? No, it's not that one. That is the back of thingy. Hey, look, it's Twitch. I have a lot of tabs open. 1 second. Oh, there it is. Yeah, so I do this. I click into SCP and I get pages not working. Yeah! No SCP for us. And like, I have this, which is a very specific search for this SCP, and I click on it and I can't get into it. Yeah, it looks like SCP's down somehow. It's very strange and very annoying. It's like, go on Twitter. SCP. Works for you? Goddamn. No, I can't get into any of it. Oh, lordy. That's sad. But I want to read the SCP. Let's, I don't know, should I do I have another browser? Let's try it in Microsoft Edge. Just, yeah, whatever Edge. It's off. Just see if it loads there. No, Edge still doesn't want to do it. Yeah, I just tried Microsoft Edge and it didn't work. So apparently that's out the window. No SCPs for us today. Back to trying to find a small, very small, like 40 minutes. Either react to one of the videos or just put it on your read list later. I'm using Chrome and it works just fine. Yeah, I was using Chrome too. Weird. I'm glad it's not just me and at least someone else is having the issue. SCP site not working. Anyway, let's see what else we can find then. Oh, I know. I also have Celtic fairy tales. we have a look at some Celtic fairy tales? I think that'd be fun. Let's read some fairy tales. Not that one. That's Sherlock. That one. No, that's Calibri. Let's put that back on for a minute. Close that. No. Yeah, there we go. It's working now. I was using Brave. It doesn't make anyone mad. That's fair. I really don't know what was going on with that. Very strange. Very strange. But it's fine. Should I read about the horned woman instead? See how big that is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, that's short. We can read that. Let's read a Celtic fairy tale about a horned woman. I think that sounds great. A rich woman sat up late one night, carding and preparing wool, while all the family and servants were asleep. Suddenly a knock was given at the door, and a voice called, "Open! Open!" "Who is there?" said the woman of the house. "I am the witch of one horn," was answered. The mistress, supposing that one of her neighbours had called and required assistance, opened the door, and a woman entered, having her hand in a pair of wool carders, and bearing a horn on her forehead, as if growing there. She sat down by the fire in silence and began to card the wool with violent haste. Yes, this is 100% wholesome. This is a wholesome stream! How many times do I have to tell you guys? It's always wholesome here. One day Brian becomes a billionaire. That's the fairy tale, guys. Go home, everyone. No. No, no. Me becoming a billionaire is not a fairy tale. It's a dream. Oh no, the horned woman doesn't help with what chat spit up through the stream. It doesn't, but that's where it is. Suddenly she paused and said out loud, "Where are the women? They delay too long." The second knock came to the door, and a voice called as before, "Open! Open!" The mistress felt herself obliged to rise and open to the call, and immediately a second witch entered, having 2 horns on her forehead, and in her hand a wheel for spinning wool. "Give me a place," she said. "I am the witch of 2 horns." And she began to spin as quick as lightning. And so the knocks went on, and the call was heard, and the witches entered, until at last 12 women sat round the fire, the first with 1 horn, the last with 12. And they carded the thread, and turned their spinning wheels, and wove, and wound and wove, all singing together in an ancient rhyme. But no word did they speak to the mistress of the house. Strange to hear and frightful to look upon were these 12 women, with their horns and their wheels, and the mistress felt near to death, and she tried to rise that she might call for help, but she could not move, nor could she utter a word or a cry, for the spell the witches was upon her. Then one of them called to her in Irish and said, "Rise, woman, and make us a cake." When the mistress searched for a vessel to bring water from the well, that she might mix the meal and make the cake, but she could find none. And they said to her, "Take a sieve and bring water in it." And she took the sieve and went to the well, but the water poured from it, and she could fetch none for the cake, and she could fetch none for the cake. And she sat down by the well and wept. Then a voice came by her and said, "Take yellow clay and moss and bind them together, and plaster the sieve so that it will hold." It's a dream. No. She got a point, you guys. Having 10 jobs. She might be onto something. I'm the witch of 42 horns, and I can feckin' move! Oh yeah, Bryony, when you get to 50 followers on Twitch where you enable text-to-speech, you still you have it here, you know. Kofi supports text-to-speech. You can, in fact, already text-to-speech here, but yeah, I will, because you have it on YouTube, therefore you can have it on Twitch. So this is a metaphor for having social anxiety at a family reunion? Yes, so far, definitely. And she did so. When the witches inside heard the call, a great and terrible cry broke from their lips, and they rushed forth with wild lamentations and shrieks, and fled away to Sylvanamon, where was their chief abode. But the spirit of the well bade the mistress of the house to enter and prepare their home against the enchantments of the witches if they returned. And first, to break their spell, she sprinkled the water in which she had washed her child's feet, the feet water outside the door on the threshold. Secondly, she took the cake which, in her absence, the witches had made of meal mixed with blood drawn from the sleeping family, and she broke the cake to bits and placed it in the mouth of each sleeper, and they were restored. She took the cloth they had woven and placed it half in, half out of the chest with the padlock. And lastly, she secured the door with a great crossbeam fastened in the jambs, so that the witches could not enter. Having done these things, she waited. Not long were the witches in coming back. They raged and called for revenge. "Open! Open!" they screamed. "Open, feet water!" "I cannot," said the feet water. "I am scattered on the ground, and my path is down below." "Open! Open! Wood and trees and beam!" they cried. "I cannot," said the door, "for the beam is fixed in the jambs. I have no power to move." "Open! Open! Cake that we have made and mingled with blood!" they cried again. "I cannot," said the cake, "for I am broken and bruised, and my blood is on the lips of the sleeping children." Then the witches rushed through the air with great cries and fled back to Sylvanamon, uttering strange curses on the spirit of the well, who had wished their ruin. But the woman and the house were left in peace, and a mantle dropped by one of the witches in her flight was kept hung by the mistress in memory of that night. And this mantle was kept by the same family for generations and generations, for 500 years after. That was a hell of a story, goddamn! What even was that? Oh, Celts. Celts are weird. The Celts are a little bit weird. I almost laughed at the fact that you brought the metaphors thing back from earlier. If that's the case, doesn't Brownie have horns riddled in her entire body because she isn't antisocial? Because she isn't social? No. The witches are the ones that are social. I wouldn't have any horns. Open! Feet water is not a sentence I expected to hear today. No, it wasn't. Feet water. These writers are centuries ahead of their generation. Moral of the story? Always listen to weird voices in the well. Yeah, we kept this mantle in memory of the time my nan used feet water to beat witches. Anyway, gonna put it in Antiques Roadshow. Correct. That is what happened. What even was that? That was great. Should we see what Connell Yellowclaw is? Connell Yellowclaw was a study tenant in Erin. He had 3 sons. There was at that time a king over every fifth of Erin. It fell out for the children of the king that was near Connell, that they themselves had the children of Connell came to blows. The children of Connell got the upper hand, and they killed the king's big son. The king sent a message for Connell, and said to him, "Oh, Connell, what made your sons go to spring on my sons, till my big son was killed by your children? But I see that though I follow you revengefully, I shall not be much better for it, and I will now set a thing before you, and if you will do it, I will not follow you with revenge. If you and your sons will get me the brown horse of the king of Lochland, you shall get the souls of your sons." "Why," said Connell, "should not I do the pleasure of the king? Though there should be no souls of my sons in dread at all, hard is the matter you require of me. But I will lose my own life, and the life of my sons, or else I will do the pleasure of the king." Have you ever just got done with dishes, and when your father/mother asks you if you're done, you just look at them in your eyes and say, yes, sir, 3 bags full. One for the master, one for the ba. Ba-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba. After these words, Connell left the king, and he went home. When he got home, he was under much trouble and perplexity. When he went to lie down, and he told his wife the thinking the king had set before him, his wife took much sorrow that he was obliged to part from himself, while she knew not if she should see him more. "O Connell," she said, "why didst thou not let the king do his own pleasure to thy sons, rather than be going now, while I know not if ever I shall see thee more?" Wait, does Mummy say, "Why didn't you let the king just murder our children? I want to see you more. We can always make more, darling. It's fine." Wife, what are you on about? When he rose on the morrow, he set himself and his 3 sons in order, and they took their journey towards Lochland. And they made no stop, but tore through ocean till they reached it. When they reached Lochland, they did not know what they should do. Said the old man to his sons, "Stop ye, and we will seek out the house of the king's miller." "Oh, Connell, why did you let your parents name you that?" They were young, quicker to replace. Yeah, they never lasted that long back in these days anyway, so like, just make a new one is fine. When they went into the house of the king's miller, the man asked them to stop there for the night. Connell told the miller that his own children and the children of his king had fallen out, and that his children had killed the king's son, and there was nothing that would please the king but that he should get the brown horse of the king of Lochland. "If you will do me a kindness, and will put me in a way to get him, for certain I will pay ye for it. The thing is silly that you are come to seek," said the miller, "for the king has laid his mind on him so greatly that you will not get him in any way unless you steal him. But if you can make out a way, I will keep it secret." "This is what I am thinking," said Connell. "Since you are working every day for the king, you and your gillies could put myself and my sons into 5 sacks of bran." "The plan that has come into your head is not bad," said the miller. The miller spoke of his gillies, and he said to them to do this, and they put them in 5 sacks. The king's gillies came to seek the bran, and they took the 5 sacks with them, and they emptied them before the horses. The servants locked the door, and they went away. When they rose to lay a hand on the brown horse, said Connell, "You shall not do that. It is hard to get out of this. Let us make for ourselves 5 hiding holes, so that if they hear us, we may go hide." They made the holes. Then they laid their hands on the horse. The horse was pretty well unbroken, and he set to making terrible noise through the stables. The king heard the noise. "It must be my brown horse," he said to his gillies. "Find out what is wrong with him." The servants went down, and when Connell and his sons saw them coming, they went into their hiding holes. The servants looked among the horses, and they did not find anything wrong. And they returned, and they told the king. And the king said to them that if nothing was wrong, they should go to their places of rest. When the gillies' time had gone, Connell and his sons laid their hands on the horse. If the noise was great that he made before, the noise he made now was 7 times greater. The king sent a messenger for his gillies again, and said for certain that there was something troubling his brown horse. "Go and look well about him." The servants went down, and they went into their hiding holes. The servants rummaged well, and did not find a thing. They returned, and they told this. "That is marvellous for me," said the king. "Go you lie down again, and if I notice it again, I will go out myself." When Connell and his sons perceived that the gillies were gone, they laid hands on the horse, and one of them caught him. And if the noise that the horse made on the 2 former times was great, he made it more this time. "Be this from me," said the king. "It must be someone troubling my brown horse." He sounded the bell hastily, and when his waiting man came to him, he said to him to let the stable gillies know that something was wrong with the horse. The gillies came, and the king went with them. When Connell and his sons perceived the company, they went into their hiding holes. The king was a wary man, and he saw where the horse were making noise. "Be wary," said the king. "There are men within the stable. Let us get at them somehow." The king followed the tracks of the men, and he found them. Every one knew Connell, for he was a valued tenant of the king of Erin. And when the king brought them out of the holes, he said, "O Connell, is it you that are here?" "I am, O king. Without question and necessity made me come. I am under thy pardon, and under thine honour, and under thy grace." He told how it happened to him, that he had to get the brown horse for the king of Erin, or that his sons were put to death. I knew that I should not get him by asking, and I was going to steal him. "Yes, Connell, it is well enough, but come in," said the king. He desired his lookout men to set watch on the sons of Connell, and give them meat. And a double watch was set that night on the sons of Connell. "Now, O Connell," said the king, "were you ever in a harder place than to be seeing your lot of your sons hanged tomorrow? But you set it by to my goodness and to my grace, and say that it was necessity brought it on you, so I must not hang you. Tell me any case in which you were as hard as this, and if you tell me that, you shall get the soul of your youngest son." "I will tell a case on as hard in which I was," said Connell. "I was once a young lad, and my father had much land, and he had parks of year-old crows, and one of them had just calved. Cows, not crows. Cows, not crows. My father told me to bring her home. I found the cow and took her with us. There fell a shower of snow. We went into the herd's bothy, and we took the cow and the calf in with us. and we were letting the shower pass from us, who should come in but one cat and 10, and one great one-eyed fox-coloured cat, as head barned over them. When they came in very deed, I myself had no liking for their company. Strike up with you, I said, the head of the barn. Why should we be still? And sing the corn to Connell Yellowclaw. I was amazed that my name was known to the cats themselves. When they had sung the corn, said the head bard, Now, O'Connell, pay the reward of the corn that the cats have sung to thee. Well then, I said to myself, I have no reward whatsoever for you, unless you should go down and take that calf. No sooner had I said the word than 2 of the cats and 10 went down to attack the calf in the very deed. He did not last long. Play up with you, why should you be silent? Make the corn of Connell Yellowclaw, said the head bard. Certainly I had no liking for the corn, but up came the one cat of 10, and if they did not sing me a corn there and then, pay them now their reward, said the great fox-coloured cat. I am tired myself of yourselves and your rewards, I said. I have no reward of you unless you take the cow down there. They bestook themselves upon the cow, and indeed she did not last long. Yep, this is longer than the last one. Very long. Oh my god. Fine, we have a little bit of time. Needs more feet water. Where were we up to? This is where we're up to. Oh, I don't like this one. This one's not as fun. Let's go find a shorter one. Like a silly 10-minute one. I don't like it. I'm bored of it. It seems we read the shortest one. 1, 2. Ah, that one's short. That one's short. We can do that one. 10 minutes. The Shepherd of Midavi. Oh lord, this one's got some words. Up in the Black Mountains of Carmarthenshire, lies the lake known as Linny Van Vatch. To the margin of this lake, a shepherd of Midavi once led his lambs and lay there whilst they sought pasture. Suddenly, from the dark waters of the lake, he saw 3 maidens rise. Cuss words? No, not cuss words. Shaking the bright drops from their hair and gliding to the shore, they wandered about amongst his flock. They were more than mortal beauty, and he was filled with love for her that came nearest to him. He offered her the bread he had with him. She took it and tried it, and sang to him, Hard baked is thy bread, 'tis not easy to catch me, and then ran off laughing into the lake. The next day he took with him bread not so well done, and watched for the maidens. When they came ashore he offered his bread as before, and the maidens sang, Unbaked is thy bread, I will not have thee, and again disappeared into the waves. A third time did the shepherd of Midavi try to attract the maiden, and this time he offered bread that he had found floating about a nearby shore. This pleased her, and she promised to become his wife if he were able to pick her out from amongst her sisters on the following day. When the time came, the shepherd knew his love by the strap of her sandal, and then she told him she would be as good a wife to him as any earthly maiden could be, unless he should strike her 3 times without cause. That's too many already. That's too many times. Unless he should strike her any time, cause or not. Of course, he deemed that this could never be, and she, summoning from the lake 3 cows, 2 oxen, and a bull as her marriage portion, was led homeward by him as his bride. The years passed happily, and 3 children were born to the shepherd and the lake maiden. But one day, here we were going to a christening, and she said to her husband, it was a far walk, so he told her to go for the horses. I will, said she, if you bring me my gloves, which I've left in the house. But when he came back with the gloves, he found she had not gone for the horses. So he tapped her lightly on the shoulder with the gloves and said, go, go. That's one, she said. Another time they were at a wedding, when suddenly the lake maiden fell, a sobbing and weeping amid the joy and mirth all around her. Her husband tapped her on the shoulder and asked, why do you weep? Because they are entering into trouble, and trouble is upon you, for that is the 2nd causeless blow you have given me. Be careful, the 3rd is the last. Oh, so she's really, really fussy on what she counts as a tap. Man, romance was easy back in the day. Hey, sir, if you fix my ferry, I'll be your wife. The husband was careful never to strike her again, but one day at a funeral she suddenly burst into fits of laughter. Her husband forgot and touched her rather roughly on the shoulder, saying, is this the time for laughter? I laugh, she said, because those that die out of the trouble. But your trouble has come. The last blow has been struck. Our marriage is at an end, so farewell. And with that she rose up and left the house, and went to their home. Then she, looking around upon her home, called to the cattle she had brought with her. Brindle cow, white speckled, spotted cow, bold freckled, old white face, and grey and the white bull from the king's coast, grey ox and black calf, all follow me home. Now the black calf had just been slaughtered, and was hanging on a hook, but it got off the hook alive, and went and well, and followed her. And the oxen, though they were ploughing, trailed the plough with them, and did her bidding. So she fled to the lake again, they following her, and with them plunged into the dark waters. And to this day is the furrow seen, with the plough left as it was dragging them into the mountain path. Only once did she come again, when her sons were grown into manhood, and then she gave them gifts of healing, by which they won the names of Medag and Medavi, the physicians of Medavi. Well, that was a weird story too. I have no idea what the morals are supposed to be. Don't marry strange women from lakes. They don't really love you, and they're just gonna laugh when you finally break the deal. Strange women in bonds is no basis for political society, or something like that. There's a Monty Python quote in there somewhere, but I cannot remember it. Don't trust strange women from lakes. That's the moral of the story. Go find a nice normal woman who doesn't come from a lake. Even if she brings farm animals from the lake, don't trust her. Don't trust the nymphs. Don't trust the nymphs. Oh, I thought the lady was the one who was learning the lesson. No, she learned no lessons. There wasn't any lesson really here other than don't trust river nymphs. Oh. And I think nymphs, well, yeah, they're water. Well, nymphs are normally elemental sexy ladies. Magical sex ladies, nymphs. So I assume these would be some kind of nymph. I don't know. It would be a nymph. Maybe. Or maybe a siren of some kind. Or maybe a fae of some kind. There could be many things that these would actually be. Tulpa, maybe. Maybe. But what it is, maybe, is the end of stream. Thank you so much, everyone, for coming. I really appreciate it. Thank you, everyone in chat. Thank you, anyone who learned. And thank you to anyone who watches the VOD. As I said, next Sunday's stream is going to be a special one because we are going to be at that first 100 books. So we'll look back on all the books that I have done before and maybe I'll show you what the 100th book is. It's very important. It's very cool. I think you'll like it. I hope you'll like it. I will be back tomorrow with some Minecraft. And if you have not already, I would highly appreciate it if you could leave a like on the YouTube video and subscribe to the channel. And if you're on Twitch, I would also highly appreciate it if you could press that follow button. 4 more to go until we get that 50, which is really exciting. Will you get Higurashi on Friday? Yes, you will. And probably another game somewhere. I know I started Hades, but I don't think I'll be going back to it potentially. I'm not sure. I need to look through my list and see what we can do on that extra day. I think that's all I have for you. If you have any money burning in your pocket and you would like to donate to your favoritist British streamer, maybe not your favoritist British streamer, but hopefully a streamer you enjoy and would like to support, you can do it in multiple ways. You can sign up for YouTube membership where you get emotes, exclusive streams, Discord channels, and merch discounts. You can join the Patreon, where you get very similar stuff, but you also get short stories, and depending on the tier, you can also get free books. Yay! Memberships and patrons, they may be getting a free book soon as well. I don't know. That could be something very special on next Sunday. So, Unfortunately, I only have a pocket burning hole in money. Mood. There is also the Kofi store where there are some audio short stories you can get your hands on in the shop. And it's also very good rates for me, creator-wise. There's also the merch store where there are ebooks, first edition copies of my books, bookmarks, key rings, t-shirts, notebooks, a very soft pillow with my face on it, and a sticker roulette. I think with the merch store, I might start making it a bit more seasonal. I feel like there's just a lot of stuff on there right now. So maybe if I just rotate it sometimes, so there's like a bit less merch, but there's things will stand out a bit more for it. That's the hope, that's the dream. So until then, until tomorrow, I'll be leaving you for a little while. Once again, thank you everyone for coming. I hope you enjoyed. I had a fun time. Beach Brady. No, what I mean is just scarcity. Artificial scarcity, that's what I mean. Anyway, once again, thank you so much everyone for coming. I really appreciate it. Thank you for everyone's support. Thank you everyone who's on the 5 months of memberships, that's the right word. Congrats everyone. You've put up with me and given me money for that long and I really, really appreciate it. Thank you so much. I will see you tomorrow! I had fun. I hope you had fun. This has been Brand New Smith, Life in the Bin Library. Goodbye.